Hi everyone, I'm Helmet. Welcome to the German crypto trading room. We have Z and we have Cowboy, and we are going to tell you all the things you need to do to become prosperous in these crypto markets. We don't have psychic or soothsayers, just great technical analysis. Yes, Cowboy.
Schwein! Schnell! Oh, sorry. Hey, going back to the old days. How you guys doing?
I like the old days. It reminds me of the time that I was locked up in the slam. That's my Vin Diesel, folks. For anybody who's listening, that's Vin Diesel right there.
You got a killer Vin, dude. Your Vin's awesome.
Thanks, bro.
Oh man,
you're not afraid of the dark, are you?
Yeah, those Riddick movies, dude. I watched. I bet you I watch all three of those at least once a year.
Heck, I even saw the animated series. Remember the animated movie they had for a second?
I had no idea, dude.
Dude, I have it. It's awesome.
Yeah, I have to check that out. The Animatrix is pretty sick. If you like,
Animatrix. Oh my god.
Yeah,
amazing.
Like the Robot Wars, the two where they talk about the history of how everything came to be, and dude, it's great.
And of course, Z has no clue what we're talking about.
I know the Animatrix. I'm not that young, man. Okay. I'm not that young. Jeez Louise, man.
I love you.
I'm an 80s baby. I'm an 80s baby.
That's right.
You're a 90s kid, 80s baby.
Yeah, I came in though. I came in the 80s.
As long as you made it, Z, that's all that matters. You never had me. You never had your car.
I live my life one 80s kid at a time.
I live my life a quarter mile at a time.
Oh man!
Hey, what does he say about
cryptos? A quarter mile at a time.
What does he say about a sister? How does he say it?
You used to date my sister.
Oh man. So yeah, we do impressions here. We also talk about cryptos. I don't know if you want to start talking about that stuff.
Cowboy, it's time for you to bring up the screen of life.
Oh, we're not doing that yet. Hold on one second.
Yes, please bring up the screen of life.
All right, guys. I'll just talk real fast while Cowboy brings that up. The overall market is looking better. Definitely better. As we've seen, BTC has been rising up. Alts have been sort of firing off. Bitcoin's dominance actually has been dropping down now. Last time I checked, actually, I think it dropped below 40%. Yeah, so right now it's at 38.4%.
Dude, that's insane.
Yeah,
that's insane,
and, we were on here talking when BTC's dominance is up to 45. I think might even have been 46 at one point. But now it's 38. So essentially, this was BTC flowing into altcoins, and the great thing right now that I really like is that the market cap is increasing. The total market cap of the entire crypto universe, I guess you would say, is rising, and BTC's dominance is not, which means that more and more institutional money is coming in. They're investing into altcoins, and that is a very, very good sign, guys. This is how you get away from that whole BTC destroying the entire market as it goes up and goes down. This is what I personally like to see, because we're not relying upon one thing.
Yeah, that's what happens there is that at this point, there still is a fair amount of dominance, but it's getting less and less so that all the banks or whoever has to do to control the whole market. If they just beat up on Bitcoin, they beat up on the whole market. And I think we're at a point now where that's still the case, but just less the case than
less, definitely. Yeah. And we ultimately don't want to be there because, if BTC is a dominant factor, in a sense, the entire market is centralized. I mean, if you want to look at it from a grand scheme.
That's a very good point you bring up. If the whole market is so tied into Bitcoin, and whether Bitcoin goes up, whether Bitcoin goes down, and we can't get a psychological umbilical cord cut, then we are kind of centralized in a theoretical kind of way. Yeah, that's
exactly.
That's a great point,
we are absolutely centralized. So it's just I don't know. I mean, if you look at it from a day-to-day standpoint, what if the dollar all of a sudden crashed, right? I guess the U.S. economy would be, taking a huge hit, and then the world economy would be taking a huge hit. So obviously, we want to get that away from the cryptocurrency universe that we're in. So I think this is a really good step.
Yeah, come on, give it up. You're still stuck in your psychological umbilical cord.
The time that I was in the slam.
Oh God.
At that time, BTC was in the slam. I actually, if we're able to, if we could see it, we got Bitcoin up on the screen. I don't know if we are we visible
I
on that,
gotta
guys?
put on my the great Kreskin magic cap on so I can use my magical powers.
Yep.
I just figured you had to put on your Riddick goggles. It's too bright for you.
Yes. Hold on, I gotta get my goggles on.
I was pretty proud of myself yesterday, man. My BTC chart actually played out, which is.
Oh, I thought you went number 2 or something.
That's it. I was pretty proud of myself there as well.
Sorry.
But yeah, my BTC chart. I've for those of you who have been in the room, I actually have been admitting that I haven't been able to chart BTC that well. For all coins, it's been fine, but for Bitcoin, it has not been that great for me. And yesterday was the first time I in a while that I charted Bitcoin pretty accurately. So that was good for me.
That's awesome, man. That's what
and we have to give Z a lot of credit because, I kind of handle a lot of the charting. Z can chart historically as well as I can. Z has been focusing on FA, fundamental analysis. And part of the reason that we were able to make it through this bear bloodbath and still come out ahead, I'd say was more to do with Z's FA than my TA. Because, I'm great on the way up with my TA, and I have my own FA. Like, I'm the one that found PPT for us. It's not like I'm an FA idiot.
And very,
found very, made a nice profit on that back in the day. But the FA is a huge component of what is going to keep us around and making profit during those bear markets. Talking about the decoupling of Bitcoin from the alts, when Bitcoin's dominance goes down, we actually have a chance at the new technology of the newer altcoins to make us some money. And so Z has been extremely effective in finding those opportunities for us. And that's why, our room is having such great entertainment compared to like all the other rooms. So that said, on the way up, that's when Z and I actually start kind of really looking at TA. We just had a call close on Trig. Trig I called, I got to look at how long ago I called Trig. It was on the 28th of March, I called Trig. Okay. I'll bring up a chart on that in a minute. We called it under 1,230 Satoshi. And it just broke like 20. I mean, people who stayed in made over 60% on their Satoshi over a 3-week period. And that was based on TA. As a matter of fact, the FA went bad. They were supposed to be
the FA wasn't impressive at all on Trig. That was strictly based on TA. And, that right there, guys, is, it may seem like a long time, but it's really not a long time. You're talking about like 3 weeks right there for a 61% gain. It's absolutely massive. That's good stuff right there.
Yeah, it's bonkers. I actually got 61%, and that's after my 5% stop loss hit. If I had sold at the peak, you never know what the peak is, but had I gotten lucky and sold at the peak, it would have been up to like 70%. So this is one thing that, there are a lot of new people being entertained by our room. And a lot of new people are like, oh, something just happened. Is it still good? And they're asking like every other day whether or not a midterm call is still good. And it's not because anybody has any problems. It's just that a lot of people are new to the game. So one of the things that we want to pay attention to is this a midterm call? And so basically, unless there's a big change in the FA, unless there's a big change in like, something fundamentally to do with a coin, a midterm call is still going to be good. Now Bitcoin might just take a massive drop. And then, of course, all calls are pretty much off at that point. But that's just kind of a lesson in what happens when people are patient and they have strong hands. And I actually made better than 60 some odd % because I scalped the whole way. So I have a tight stop loss when I see things going kind of FOMO, when I see things going, hard like green bars like this, when it's not Bitcoin, I'll sell right there if I see a retracement coming, and I'll buy back into the retracement. So I personally probably added 1 to 2% every time I did that, which is 2 or 3 times. And that's on a compound basis. I could have added 10% to my gains just scalping. And, so anyway, without getting too much farther into that, I think that the takeaway there is how patience can pay off with a midterm call. And, That really is the takeaway. And I've got Bitcoin up on the screen. We got a downward trend line that's actually being broken for the first time in a long time. A lot of people thought it actually was broken back here. And technically it was right here. But this is this 11.5. And then also there's like this 10.4 point. Arguably, those are some of the times when the manipulation happens. So, long story short, though, we have a sustained breakout to a degree for a number of days from this downtrend line. So as long as we don't see like a ton of manipulation, then we're in for some bullishness in the market. Z and I both had the same, like the TA that I did yesterday morning matched up with the TA that Z ended up doing last night, because we both have basically the top of this cloud as a resistance. And so my resistance was at 8,800 because also it's kind of a historical point. I will widen this out so we can see why. So a quick look at what Bitcoin might do and why. Give me 1 second here. So you have this resistance at the top of these guys right here. And that's about 9,000, 9,100. And we've had some issues at 9,100 below. And that's right at the top of the cloud. So that's a really good candidate for if it's going to go down, it'll go down there. We also have a historical 8,800 where things tend to kind of want to, that's when things start to go funky. And if you look at that, that's roughly here. So the way I look at an 8,800 resistance and a 9,100 resistance is I combine them into a zone. So basically the zone is going to be right here. We're going to widen this up. I've got a zone from here to here. So when I start to see an approaching of this area, that's when I'm going to look to possibly tighten up my losses, my stop losses, that is. Now, a lot can happen with Bitcoin, right? So what happens here is stop hunting, where people think it's going to go up and they have their stop loss set like right here. Let me just do this. They have a stop loss set up like right here. So we believe that it's manipulated right here to set off the stop losses. And then maybe again right here. Then there's this bullish engulfing candle. And historically, we've been looking at TA when it says it's supposed to go down and then it goes up. And then why is that? Well, this is part of why the last two times we saw any kind of manipulation on Bitcoin, I was actually able to call it correctly. So going into this 1 hour time frame chart that I had ready from earlier, you can actually see some of the manipulation happening. This type of movement that we lovingly call the Bart Simpson head, that's a lot of your manipulation right there. In this case right here, this is what was expected in a way, was a bear flag and an extension down from that, another impulse leg. Here we expected, after this impulse leg, a lot of the TA said we were supposed to have another leg down, but we didn't. We saw a bunch of money come into the market that didn't make any sense, and it pushed it right up. In fact, we saw it right here in a big way. Right here, a lot of money came in, and as the price was going up, a bunch of walls were put in. So this is what we experienced on the way up. Well, here, on a closer time frame, let's see here. Z, are you still with me, bud?
Yep.
Okay, just making sure.
I'm with you as well.
Yeah, it's not.
Are you with me, Nick?
Yeah. So we got right here is what I'm seeing. A lot of TA. Sometimes you think it's going to go down, but these bullish engulfing candles could be one of two things. They're both bullish, but when we saw some of the expected down go up, we saw a bunch of these in the short time frames where the price wanted to retrace. You have this big rise right here. Generally, you're going to see a retracement. This does not look organic at all. And this bullish engulfing candle looks like money being put back in the system to keep the price above a certain area. We saw this back on this long run up. We saw a lot of it going on right about here. So for example, this is a great example of stop hunting, right? They wanted to get the price to go up back here. And this is all assuming manipulation, right? I'm not a fortune teller. It's just what I think. They want to get the price to go up because that's where it went. As far as I'm concerned right now, if the boys want it to go up, it goes up. If the big boys want it to go down, it goes down. That's just how I see it. And it looks like here they might have shaken off some of the stop losses. So basically a lot of people had their stops right here. So they triggered a sell-off, caused those stop losses to come off, which creates another sell-off. And then everybody buys back into those sells. And they buy it nice and low, push price in here. All of a sudden people have their stops, break the stops down, come back up. So there's a lot of those games going on with Bitcoin. Right now, I think that if in fact those games are going on, and if in fact those games are being represented by these bullish engulfing candles, and if I can get an eye on through some of the people I know what the shorts look like over at like Bitfinex and things like that, then right now it looks like someone might want to push it up. So either we're going to see an allowance for it to go down like this, or eventually going up. It might be here, you know, it might be down the line after it goes this way for a while and then it goes up. But we might not be surprised to see a big dump down, and then we see some of that sideways play, and then we see it go up after that to shake out all the stops. And that is why my stop loss right now is actually really low according to some opinions, right? My stop loss is way down here. It's way down at 78. That's a deep, deep stop loss. But the reason it's that low,
that's a dive.
That's a dive. But at the same time, if they're going to push it down, Z, correct me if I don't want to speak for you. Z and I feel that 6,800, 6,400, and 6,000, if they really want to push it down, that's where it's going to go.
Yep.
So I have a deep stop right now. I may raise it if we see some more movement, but my stop is so deep, basically, that if we drop to 68 or 64, I get to profit from that. So that's how I'm set up. Z, are you seeing anything different than I am on any of that?
I just want to talk about the overall trend of Bitcoin right now. So guys, we're actually at a very, very critical point in Bitcoin. We actually said the same exact thing March 4th. So when we had a live show around that time, we said the same exact thing, and unfortunately Bitcoin rebounded off the top of the Kumo cloud and went downwards. Right now we have another chance right now to break through this Kumo cloud, and on top of it right now the TK cross is about to happen. This is all in the 12-hour. So Bitcoin, if Bitcoin breaks through this Kumo cloud, it will be the first time it has been considered bullish, because any single time a coin is above the Kumo cloud in the Ichimoku indicator, it is considered bullish. Simple as that. This will be the first time Bitcoin is above the Kumo cloud since January 6th. This is a very, very big critical moment right now for Bitcoin, because not only do you see a TK cross happening like pretty soon here, we'll know within probably the next couple days. We'll know whether it crossed over, and if it does cross, I could definitely see Bitcoin peeping through the cloud, and that would signal the first bullish turn in a very, very long term.
Well, I just put a circle around the TK cross. It's below the cloud, so it's not a strong one, because below cloud is weak bullish, in the cloud is moderate bullish, above cloud is actually bullish, like strongly bullish.
Why does mine look different than yours right now? That's so.
What time frame are you on?
I'm on the 12-hour too. Mine hasn't shown it crossed yet.
Yeah, you see mine, right?
Yeah, that's so weird.
Maybe we'll have to go over our settings after the show.
Yeah, mine hasn't shown a cross yet. But yeah, either way, guys, this is actually a really, really big deal. And we we'll see. Well, hopefully it has enough room where it can bust through that ceiling and rise up.
Oh, yeah, I think it all depends on what the big boys want. So it's all a cost-benefit analysis. It's expensive for Bitcoin to be pushed through this unnaturally, right? It's cheap to let it go naturally. Now, if it does get through this, some FOMO might catch. And we actually see a nice run up to, 10, 11, 12, or higher. Now, once the FOMO catches up, then it gets kind of expensive to stop the FOMO and to push it back down. So essentially, it really depends on what the big boys want to do with it. Z, is your itchy at 20, 40, 120, and 30? Are those your settings?
I'm at 20, 60, 120, and 30.
You know, I fixed mine before. Let me just, I like yours better than mine anyway.
Yeah, mine is actually, so 2060 is actually more conservative. 2040 is less conservative. It's actually more risky. So it really depends. I mean, it's 2040 people use it for alts. See, oh yeah, there you go. So see how that that TK cross right there is about to happen, and that's the TK cross I'm talking about, guys. Right there. So that is curling.
Oh, go ahead, Z.
No, I was just gonna say that is curling upwards towards a crossover, and that would signal a bullish entry. Even though it is below the cloud, it's not super bullish. It's an entry of some sorts, but I think that when that crosses, you will see a run up through the clouds. And you know, that could be a very good sign for Bitcoin. Because as I said before, you know, we haven't been above the clouds since January 6th and March, as you can see from before. Cowboy, March, we touched the top of the cloud, but then we rebounded back down.
Here it is right there.
Yep.
So yeah, that's also we're seeing in this box that I put in earlier, there's a fair amount of buying volume, consistent. So there's a lot of selling volume, a lot of tall red bars, not as many green. Well, you got a lot of taller green bars and a lot of green bars in general. So, you know, we may, if I were to draw a demand zone, as it stands right now, the demand zone is roughly below this area. This is our demand zone. So, and a demand zone is when the price gets low enough, people get interested in buying it. That's all that is.
And finally, and as for an Elliott wave standpoint, I've actually was reading up on Elliott wave yesterday. I'm trying to increase my TA prowess, guys. And what's it called? In terms of an Elliott wave standpoint, we're actually in a bullish movement. The next Elliott wave actually brings us, I think, up to 11. Would be wave 4, I think. Would be I think around 11. So you know, I'm still working on it, but that's what I saw.
Well, yeah, so wave 3, you're thinking wave 3 is going to take us to 11. It's possible.
Wave I was talking about from before, like a huge standpoint. If you look at it from like
you're looking at macro.
Yeah, the entire huge macro, right? Elliott wave 4, I believe, would take us to 11, but it's tough to say.
Yeah, I'd have to see what you're talking. Elliott wave is something I've been looking at for a month or two, and I actually had a super accurate one for one of our calls last week. So, I mean, like accurate to the Satoshi, which is really fun because it's very, very uncommon to have a call play out that exactly, even with Elliott wave. But yeah, it's Elliott waves. It involves a lot of things. It involves some Fibonacci retracements and Fibonacci numbers and levels and things like that. So, not something to learn overnight, that's for sure. But yeah, so but you know, everything Z says, I see the same thing as far as the general. I mean, we're right there. If we can break above the cloud, we may see a lot of money pour in, and we're already seeing. We're at like $280 million market cap just like 2-3 weeks ago. Now we're at like what, 340? Where are we at?
360, I think it is.
Jeez, dude, it was just 340 a couple days ago.
Yeah.
So there you go. So what else we want to see, guys?
Yeah, when do you guys think we're really going to see that turnaround this coming month, or you really feel it's going to break out?
Well, personally, I'm going to say mid to late May for the big breakouts. And that's, depends on like if wars erupt, but if all things being equal, I'd say we're 30 days out. Within 30 days, we'll see a decent breakout, and within 60 days, we'll see a nice breakout. I know, Cliff's numbers have been kind of expanded on that. But Cliff said he wants to talk, Cliff High, that is, wants to talk to us right about June. So I think he wanted to talk to us after all the, after the breakout happens. So, there's some clues for you.
So interesting stuff, guys. If you guys haven't checked it out, check out our Cliff High video. We did a full video with Cliff High where he talked to sort of about how the market, how he sees the market in a sense. Talked about a few coins like Sky, like EOS, like it's not EOS, Sky, PPT, Very. We talked about a few coins like that in that video. And also for those of you who don't know, Dave from X22 is in our room right now, guys. And so, come say hi to Dave.
Yeah.
Dave's he's a great guy. It's funny, as soon as he jumps in, everybody like bombards him with questions because he has so much to give. So it's cool stuff.
Yeah, Dave's cool. Actually, I found Rogue Money because of X22 report. So that's just
a small world.
Dude, it is a small world, man. So I guess I did have CDT lined up, and I just want to show this one because this is one of our midterm calls. Now, we talked about trig and how midterm calls can go, and provided that the market doesn't blow up and that everything is solid, these midterm calls with patience can actually make us a fair amount of money. And this is a chart unchanged since I drew it a few days ago. And what I want to point out about this chart is I'm going to get rid of this Fibonacci here. And I'll probably hold on to the Ichimoku. All right, so I called it like back here where my mouse is right now. I saw a reversal trend going up a channel. I thought it was actually going to bear out and then bounce off the bottom and go up. It's actually just going up, which is great. Now, it may still retrace. We may establish a new trend, have a retracement down. But if people had stayed in, they got in like around 5:15 or so. The new entry was around the 5:30 for those of us who wanted to get in later. But, the original call was back here. And basically, it's up to, say, 650. So it's up over 20%. I had stop losses in that took my 20% profit for me yesterday. Told the whole group that's what's happening. Now, if we get a retracement, I'll probably buy back in and effectively have scalped this thing. If not, I got a 20% profit, and we have so many good coins right now that I may just move on to the next. So, like right now, between Z and I, we have so many calls, we can afford to just move on to the next. And as a matter of fact, Crypto Z just put an announcement in the call room that Blue Zell, which is what we called this morning, we're about to actually make it a free call here on the show. Matter of fact. Yeah.
Let's just shoot it out. Guys, we gave it out to the crypto, the Watch Us Trade room.
Yep.
Just this morning. The buy-in was on sub 6,500 was the buy-in zone. And right now it's at 65.20. So, we probably bought in around 64, 63, and now it's left the buy zone. So everybody in right now has gone profit, just like that.
Beautiful, just like that.
Just like that.
And it's following its TA right now. It's looking good, and I think it's gonna step up nicely. I
You
really
mean
think
it's
it's gonna step up
following the
nicely.
TA? You're not like using your hocus pocus magic powers?
No hocus pocus. I have not read my Harry Potter book yet today. I will though.
I pay you $300 a month for you to remote view this, or?
You could pay me $300 a month to remote view it, but
you guys, I'm sorry. I'm a fraud. I'm just a fraud. Okay. And I'm an ultimate fraud. I didn't want to tell anybody this. I had help with this call. Dang old man, y'all know I found it for you. I found you that goddamn call. I had some chicken bones from last night dinner, and I went ahead, I put them on a plate, put them in a microwave, and as the plate spun around in the microwave, I spun around with it. That's how I get my remote viewing. And as I spun around with that thing, I heard a couple cracks. And when the cracks came, I swear I heard my mother-in-law's voice said, "Buy Blue Zell, it's going to go up." I went ahead. I made up some numbers, put up a fancy graph. I paid Crypto Cowboy to do it, y'all, because, I'm not really good at them computer things. But you give me chicken bones, I'll tell you what in the hell's going on.
Remember, guys, this is not financial advice, guys. Remember, this is strictly for entertainment right now. But we did call Bluezell this morning. Bluezell looks fantastic, and if I were not in this watch as trade room, I would get into Bluezell right now, make that run up, take those gains, and come.
For those that don't know, guys, what exactly is Bluezell? What's the FA on that?
So Bluezell is cloud storage, essentially. Bluezell is cloud storage, cross chain, unbelievable team, guys. Bluezell is I actually, from a FA standpoint, I actually got into Bluezell during the ICO. I think the ICO Satoshi level is about 2,000 Satoshis. So it's done a 2 to 3x type of deal. Bluezell is highly, highly undervalued right now, in my opinion. I think it's going to have an incredible year coming up. And at the end of April, Bluezell's got some big news coming up. It also has some coding news, actually. It's actually doing a little bit of a revamp in its core coding, which will make it even more desirable for people. And from a rumor standpoint, Bluezell actually has some very, very big partnerships coming up.
Yeah, we all love those rumors that Z gets, because they tend to play out.
The rumors have treated us well. Yeah, rumors have treated us well.
It would be kind of cool if we actually knew people in the project that gave us the information ahead of time. But it would also be
all rumors.
It's also illegal, so we don't get that information. But we do hear a lot of rumors, and they tend to play out. So for those of us looking at the screen and they actually want to see the call, this is a free call here and now. I was going to save it for the end of the show so we could all do our funny voices and mess around, but I'll just give it to you now. We bought, like Z said, over at just below 6,500. It's close enough. You're at 65.15. We actually could bounce down a little bit and come off the cloud before we come up. But essentially what we've seen, and it looks to me almost like a cup and handle, a bit nice, big fat cup. Maybe this is your little handle. It just has enough FA behind it to where I'm pretty confident this is going to go. Now, if not, I have a stop loss here, 5,600 to 5,700. So if we do see, I don't know, a tank from Bitcoin or something and everything goes bad, then my losses are going to be cut off right here. Now, once I get up into this profit zone, I'm going to move my stop loss to about 5 to 7% below the current price of that. And as the price goes up, I will continue to move it up. I may choose to take profit manually, but that's how I run it. So that's how we're doing it, guys.
So perfect.
But remember, not financial advice, guys. This is purely for entertainment. And personally, for that person, PM down up, Bluezell or Siacoin. Siacoin doesn't even hold a candle to Bluezell. Team wise, Bluezell is far superior. Funding wise, Bluezell is far superior. And I hate to always do this to people about Siacoin, but guys, Siacoin is old technology. Its team is not good. Its Satoshi value is still 227, guys. It's 227 Satoshi. When I got into cryptos, Siacoin was at 500, and now it's at 227. Siacoin is one of the few coins out there in terms of Satoshi value that has actually gotten down in the last year, like in a severe amount. Siacoin's not good, guys. It can't compete. And just to let you guys know, the CEO of Siacoin openly stated out loud that Siacoin will never be worth a lot of money because Siacoin has to battle it out with the traditional cloud storages that are available on the market right now, like Apple Cloud,
Bezos,
Google Cloud, all stuff like that. It's just, Siacoin cannot. Yeah, exactly. How is it going to battle with Amazon? Who's going to use Siacoin when they can use Amazon for a fraction of the price? Siacoin is not geared towards doing the same apparatus, doing the same type of cloud storage that Bluezell does.
Sia just changed their slogan.
What's the slogan? Lose money?
See ya.
Yeah.
Sia coins. See you later.
And just also for people who don't know, Siacoin actually lost like 2 or 3 developers. Not recently, but like over the last 6 months, they've actually lost developers, guys. It's an old coin, and we've stated this before. Remember that technology is always evolving, guys. This is why Cowboy and I tend not to hodl so much because technology is very finicky. I mean, think about your TV, right? Think about how your TV did. How much has
I'm still hodling my CRT tube television. Kidding.
You see, like, how much has the television evolved in the last 3 years? Now, can you imagine a very mainstream, like technologically heavy industry like cryptocurrencies? I mean, that's evolving every month, guys.
Right, every second.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's Blue Zell. I know Z's been really big on Blue Zell from the start.
Yep.
And I remember when it first hit, I don't mess around. I'm a little more conservative at times, right?
Mhm.
So these guys were in here, when it first hit Binance, and I'm going to expand this so they can see it. The first few days it hit Binance, it was a riot. Like, all of our guys are freaking out, getting these massive gains right here. And if you're using a trailing stop loss, then you're golden, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But see that this block right here, this was when Binance like shut down for how long was that? Binance was down for like.
Oh yeah, Binance is down for what, a full day?
I think it was like a full day.
Yeah.
So, and then if you notice after that, we had a nice big dump. But this is the funny thing. And this is something that from a perspective point of view, I want everybody to be entertained by, especially our new people. Because we have a lot of new people, and in their seeking entertainment, they're like, oh yeah, what's going on with this coin? What's going on with this coin? Because they had a big run up on it recently. Like, they might have gotten into it right about here and gotten out here, and they experienced a gain from 66 to 85, which is like 30 something percent, maybe more, 40, 50%. And they're all excited because they made a bunch of money. Well, look, guys, this is the way that Z and I do things. We make money when it's there to be made, and then we go on and we find other opportunities. Okay. People got married to Blue Zell. They want to just, what's going on with Blue Zell? What's going on with Blue Zell? I got a question about Blue Zell like 4 times a day. I'm like, guys, we made money on Blue Zell. Done deal.
Yeah, exactly. And we always reiterate this. And I actually made a comment yesterday in the Watch Us Trade, guys. Cowboy and I never ever just like dwell on the past, guys. There's always going to be another call. There's always going to be another huge percentile gain, guys. If you miss out on one, you miss out on one. Go on to the next one. Cowboy and I are in there averaging 3 calls each a day plus. I mean, it's there's going to be calls.
Yeah, most rooms are like 3 calls each a week or a month, and it's mostly
dude.
Bitcoin and
five
Litecoin and
5 coins a month, maybe
for $400 a month. Like, you guys, what we're offering. And again, we'll save. I'd say let's not even talk about what we're offering. Just go to the live chat. Go to the YouTube live chat. There's a bunch of people in there who actually are getting entertained. Go in there and talk to them. Ask them what their results are. That speaks for itself.
Absolutely.
And I don't mean to be cocky about it, but I'm cocky about it, dude. We're fucking. Excuse my language. We're badass.
We're
Look,
badass.
I'm glad you say that, because I've been saying this ever since I met you guys. I'm like, these guys are freaking sharks. I love these guys. They're assassins.
If you guys want to see our results, guys, you guys can simply just ask inside the live chat, guys. There's people inside there that are in our room doing well, making incredible gains. I've got guys making thousands of dollars, which is awesome. They're paying for their years plus memberships. Some guys, I think there's 2 guys in our room recently that quit their jobs and are doing this full time now.
Yep.
And they were in our room for like 3 weeks. I was just like, they're like, dude, I made more money than I made in my job in 2 months. So I'm going to take a break from my job and start doing this.
Dude,
I'm just like, whoa.
We have one guy just yesterday, the day before, and he said that he just made money in 1 day enough to pay for a year's worth of subscription. So a lot of people are like, how am I going to pay for this? We are currently in development for being able to take cryptocurrency. There are issues with doing that. So, we're taking dollars at this time. However, we got people that just send their money to Coinbase, get a little bit out. As long as you're not surpassing $20,000, technically there's no issue in the first place. Second of all, there are no regulations in place right now for taxing Bitcoin at this point. Right. And none of this is tax advice, and none of this is financial advice. This is all meant for purely entertainment and educational purposes, and none of it's intended for anybody to use towards financial gain or anything like that. But the reality is, and V is going to give us some details on it, but my understanding is that there has to actually be court cases to challenge tax law. Like the tax law is not even really there. There are no precedents. There are no rules. So right now, everybody's being kind of scared into reporting things. Now, once you report it, you owe. So I don't know, V, you know a lot more about this than I do.
Can
you talk
once
about
once you open once you start flapping your gums and you open up your blabbermouth and you lose your, you lose control of your bladder and you start admitting to everything that you've, that every single. I mean, there are literally people who are scared crapless. They're showing up to their accountant's office with a spreadsheet of every single trade they've done for the last year or two. It's insane, and then the accountant looks and be like, I don't know how to do this. Because there's no statute. There's not a single statute anywhere.
Or the accountant or the attorney looks at it and goes, that's about 12 billable hours.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. And we've got a lot of people that just opens up a simple Coinbase account. They pay their monthly membership through Coinbase. They pay for their bills through Coinbase. Okay. And this is going to continue because I'm telling you guys right now, I'm going to give you guys a little sneak preview here without giving away everything that we've been working on. I've solved the biggest conundrum and problem that we have in cryptocurrencies. Most people who are whales, okay, who have tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, or even tens of millions of dollars in cryptos, have a hell of a time getting it out. They have a hell of a time of getting it into currency without reporting to every single taxing authority on planet Earth, reporting it to the local jurisdictional authorities, B, looking suspicious and looking like a drug dealer, and C, they're just stuck. So they're either hodling it or trading, or they're buying ICOs, which is causing them to even create more money for themselves, and they're still stuck. We're going to be launching in the next few days, folks, an amazing platform. It has been I've been, ever since I came out of the scene, I've been all about solutions. And that's why I love working with these guys, because these guys are all about solutions. No fear, no FUD, all results, all gains. That's just how we roll. The platform that we're developing right now is going to allow you folks to take whatever the heck crypto you got, and then using a specific process, which I'm not going to get into right now, we can get your crypto out of any exchange, any wallet, whatever, and then convert it into fiat, whatever fiat you want. We have access to 24 currencies, and we can shoot it into any bank account in the entire planet. And then we're going to teach you how to set it up correctly, so you're not going to have the implications, so to speak, of being a crypto enthusiast as you take your profits. Okay, so we're going to do the whole entire thing soup to nuts. That platform is going to launch. So whether you want to buy into cryptos or you want to liquidate out, now you can liquidate out. Now you can make a living. Do you get that, folks? You can finally come and trade with Z and Cowboy, make a killing, make a profit. You can liquidate out. You can pay your bills. You can put it in the bank. You can put it in your trust. You can put it in your LLC. You can do what the heck you want with it. And now you can have a life. You can actually take profit from this and live life comfortably. This could be literally, if you do it well and you're smart and proficient, this could literally be a life-changing career move for some people.
Yep. And how are we're gonna offer that this service? Of course, we're not going to give when it's going to be offered yet, because we're still working on it, but it's going to be offered to the Rogue Money Group first.
Yep.
The Watch Us Trade Room first, because those, I know there's a lot of people inside there that, are asking, we want to take profits. They're making great gains. They want to take profits. And so, we'll be offering that service into the Watch Us Trade Room group. And
the best part about this platform, guys, the best part about it is we're going to protect your identity. You have complete identity protection, complete anonymity protection. You're completely safe. And then, and I love the fact that the methods that we're using, oh my God, I mean, it's untouchable. It's untouchable. Nothing. There's not a jurisdictional authority in the world that could flounder with this, that could screw with it whatsoever. And that's the most beautiful thing about this whole entire system. And it gives you access to other asset classes. Not just fiat currencies, which we have an access to 24 to 25 different currencies, but also alternative asset classes, which would, again, those asset classes are something that you can take possession of, you can liquidate. All these things are coming to play, and these are real solutions. So you ain't got to worry about, oh my God, I got to, give my right arm and my left kidney to prove my identity and this, that. No. We have a simple KYC process. As long as we verify you're not an international terrorist, or a drug dealer, we're good. And then you begin to enjoy and see the fruits of your labor.
So I'll put it to you this way: like between the four of us, Z, which I've worked with Z for like 5 years. You know, Frank, V, you guys, myself, we either work with or have family who work with the big players on the planet. And so basically, what V is talking about, from what we've been kind of discussing, not only is it relative, you know, you can say be anonymous to the government, things like that, but this is also legal. It's legal. That's the cool part. This isn't anything illegal.
Exactly.
And here's the thing: it's what the big boys do.
Yep.
That's what I'm trying to convey right now. The reason I mentioned that we all work with those people or know them or whatever, it's because that's just what the big boys do. That's what Apple does. It's what, you know, whatever, Google, you name it. What they do is they have things set up in a way similar to what we're talking about doing. And that's all I'm going to say about it.
Exactly. It's the real solutions is to hide in plain sight. You see, the banks have all locked arms and they said, you know what, we're going to look after each other when the whole ship goes down. But Joe Public, he has nobody looking out for him. So you know, the way you got to be like the banks. You got to hide in plain sight. That's how you insure it, and it's all legal. It's all legal. So that's the beautiful part about it, Cowboy. You hit the nail on that. It's all legal.
Yep. And remember, guys, we're gonna be offering this service for the Watch Us Trade Room peeps, for, you know, their constant support to Rogue Money, and we're gonna be starting with that. So you know, if you're in there making crypto gains, you know, that's definitely a way for you to have the option to cash out, and for you to actually you know, live your life off of, you know, your gains.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah,
and the best thing is that you've got V, you know, you guys have been tuning into V and Simply Frank, and known as Simply Frank, for a long time. And, you know, these guys know their stuff, guys. You know, these guys know their stuff, and you know, V's going to be pioneering this thing. He's going to be at the forefront of it, and, you know, he's going to put his good name on it.
And we're going to crush it, and we're going to kick the banksters in the nuts.
Yeah. So now there's one last chart that I brought up before we go is MTL.
Metal. Oh my goodness. Everybody and their mothers is asking me about metal, bro.
That's why I brought it up, because so many people in the room. Oh, it's so metal. I'm like, the music is so good. It's not totally metal.
The only metal I know is the kind of metal that I fire when I'm shooting my guns.
The only kind of metal I know is like the pour that I threw through Bennett's stomach and asked him to let off some steam.
Let off some steam, Bennett.
Kill me! All right, so we're looking at metal, and on the, you know, we called metal. Let me go back to the call here. I actually brought it up for myself. We called metal under 5,000. Optimal buy, you know, buy zone under 5,000, optimal buy under 4,750. So at that time, I had a big chart, and that chart was, you know, really graphic as to what the plan was to buy it. I'll see if I can actually find that chart. What we're looking at now is the 12-hour chart, right? So that 12-hour chart, let's see here, has some bullishness right here. Now, if we look at all the indicators, it's starting to look like the beginnings of FOMO. Okay. So one of the things about FOMO is that indicators start to go bad. You can't chart FOMO, as we like to say. If you look right here where my mouse is back here, you saw this run up in the stochastic RSI, big run up in RSI, and it hung out up there for a while. And then I'll shorten this down a little bit here so we can see it. But we had a big run up in our MAC. All three of those things happened at the same time as this, right? So we ended up eventually coming back down. And now we're on the way back up, and we're seeing a very special kind of on the way back up. Okay, you see this, whoops, this, and this right here. And then you have price actually sort of only just start to run up. Now, if you look at it on the closer, this is what it looks like. Okay, so let me go back. I'm sorry, one thing I forgot to point out. If you're looking at the long chart, where we just were, there's an increase in buying volume. And it's actually some of our guys in the room who pointed it out. They say, hey, why is it the MTL has these big volume spikes every so often? Because it was weird. You know, if you look at it on the closer range, we'll see it in a second. You see these big spikes in volume, one here, one there. Now, on the long, when I see a long retracement like this, from a big high, I look for these spikes in volume because that means that it's in the demand zone. And then I tend to, that's just signals a reversal along with these these higher lows right here. That's a big reversal trend. So when I see a big reversal trend and I see increasing buyers volume, that tells me that we are going to go up. So that's when we called it back here around, say, like 4,700, right around this range is when we called it. So it's a midterm call, right? So you had some dip down here and you had some dip down there. And, I think I actually called it back here, to be honest. However, those of us who are patient and hold on to metal, I actually got stop loss out right here. I bought back in right about here. I didn't get the bottom. You never really do. But I did buy back in right here. Now, on the close, this is what we're looking at. You see these volume spikes right here that are random like that? Well, we're going to probably see a bit of a retracement before we go back up. And the reason I say that is because we peaked out here in the RSI, we're going down. The MAC is taking a strong turn down. This is on the 15-minute chart. It's very short. This can change in a like you look at this in an hour, it can look totally different. But for the next hour or so, at least I expect a retracement to come back down to right about here, possibly maybe before that. So for those of us who scalped like I did, for those of us who stop loss hit up here, want to buy back in and increase your percentage, you're going to go from I stopped at about 56.40. If I buy in at 54, that's a roughly 4% gain I have. I increased my bag and therefore my profits by 4% by using a trailing stop loss at 5%. And we do it on almost all of our calls unless they're super, super strong coins. So I expect to bounce off the bottom where this cloud is and to go back up the channel, maybe bounce off here, maybe not. Maybe it just keeps going up. I'm going to follow it with that same 5% stop loss that racked me in that extra profit right here. So that's metal for all of us who are asking about it, for what we're expecting. And from the broad standpoint, our sell points on metal are 6,200, 7,500 and 9,900 Satoshi. That's a big, big gain. And that is 2 free calls that we have given out on the show today. Okay. So spread the word. Whenever people are wanting to find a really good crypto show to watch and they're looking for some free calls, it's all for entertainment purposes only, that are not intended for anybody to have any kind of financial gain. But if people want to know where free calls are coming from on the shows, we did these calls weeks ago. So all the people in our room could get that entertainment first, but we're putting them out here right now.
Yep. And real fast, Romain, what's it called? We aren't a part of Z Crypto Signals Telegram. No. That's not us, guys. If you guys want to be part of our trading room, our Watchers Trade room, the link is in the description. It's called the cryptoschool.io. And from there, it brings you on to the site. And in the middle, you'll see the Watchers Trade room. And that's our room that we run. We're not part of any other room.
Yeah, right. So that's the, in fact, I brought it up on the screen. It's the cryptoschool.io. And like Z said, the link is in the description. You're looking at a steal of a deal, $300. Don't know how long we're going to be able to afford to run at $300. That's just our kind of, that's what we're charging right now. A room that does a tenth of what we do. A tenth, 3 calls, maybe a call a week, 2 calls a week on just Bitcoin.
Yeah, if you can, just bring up the Slack, just trail through it real fast, guys. You guys can see how many updates we're in there.
Yeah, let me do that right now.
Like you said, we're not here overselling ourselves, guys. We're always inside the room 15, 16, 20 hours a day sometimes. And you can see how many updates we do, guys. It's constant.
Yeah, and, are we seeing it right now?
Let me
see. Should be.
Yes, we are seeing it right now, and you guys can see just how many trades we're doing, guys. You can look at the timestamps, and you'll see that we're always inside there.
Yeah, that's our MTL trade. That was at like 9 a.m. Yep. This is days ago. I've got an update right here on Juan, like what I want to do with Juan. This is days and days ago. You got timestamps 12 p.m. Of course, that's normal. But we got Z in here. Sometimes I know I've got a problem, and so I wake up at 2 a.m. to check the crypto prices. I just have that problem, and my fiance puts up with it. But that's me here at 11. This is, Z1. Trying to find like these 5 a.m. stamps from Z.
Oh, if you keep scrolling down, you'll see a bunch of 5 a.m. stamps. But
so here's Z at, starting his day at 8 p.m.
yeah. So Cowboy and I like to tag off a lot of times, and when he ends is when I start, and sometimes we overlap, and when we do overlap, things are good.
Yeah, here's me at 10:30, Z at 10:30 p.m.
But
that's me at 11 on Easter, 11 p.m. on Easter, Z at 1 a.m. on Easter. I mean, like, I'm usually on at like 5 or 6 a.m. So anyway, we're on there. That's the point.
Yeah. But anyways, guys, we're on there all the time. So just, don't be, you guys can come join. You guys can come ask any questions you guys want, crypto related. We're inside there. We chart coins whenever you guys want, any specific coin, whenever we're in there. So don't be afraid to come learn with us.
Yep, and this is the cryptoschool.io will take you to this screen. You've got the actual Crypto School, which is a video education series, one-time charge. If you're kind of new to the game and you want to get some entertainment that can lead you to do your own research on how to do cryptos and things like that, then you go to the Crypto School. It's $299.97, I believe, one time. There's the Watch Us Trade. That's where Z and I are doing our entertainment, and that right now is, I think, what is it, $299.97 right now? Fee, is that the price for that?
Yeah, the Crypto School is $297, and the Watch Us Trade is $300, and you pay for that, folks. Right now, temporarily, just pay for that using your Coinbase. Just move it, get it, convert it out, move it into your Coinbase. Pay your membership, pay your bills, whatever you got to do. Take some profit for yourself, and then when we launch our new platform, you don't need to go anywhere. You won't need to go anywhere. We will become the bank. We'll clear every single fund for you. We'll have you deposit into whatever currency you want and whatever bank account you want. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, yep. And it's only going to be available to us until we actually get everything up and running. And with the stuff that we have planned and the stuff that V has planned, you guys have no idea what's coming. I mean, we got just humongous things happening, and those who are in the Watch Us Trade room get to be on the cutting edge of that. And I don't want to leave out the crypto community Slack. That's a monthly subscription. First month is free. I think it's like $4.95 after that, and there's a lot of people in there. I actually will, Crypto Z and I will actually put some calls in there. We even put like free calls in there. Blue Zell would go in there. It will go in there. It's just, we gave it away here.
Real fast, V. Somebody's asking, is the only way to pay through a credit card or through debit card? Is there like a PayPal option? I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, if you have a PayPal credit card, I mean, if PayPal gives you like a PayPal debit card, then you can do it, right? I don't know how you set it up through PayPal. Frank would know better than I would. Maybe shoot an email to Frank over at frank@remaincalm.biz. That's frank@remaincalm.biz.
At remaincalm.biz. Yeah.
If you're in the Slack, you can also find Frank in there too. He's pretty active. So
yeah, so it's pretty cool, guys. Like like V and Cowboy said, this is really exciting for me, guys, because I've been trading a long time, and obviously, I'm looking to take profit as well. So V offers that solution. That's incredible stuff for me, and that will be available for Watch Us Trade.
Oh yeah, that's actually important. Just to point out before we go, I know the show's getting kind of long right now, but Z and I are taking profit right now in dollars. We're not going to sell all of our cryptos, but we just had a nice run up. I think I almost doubled my whole portfolio using a fraction of it in trades.
Yep.
So what we're doing is I'm taking profits. I'm going to buy some precious metals and things like that. Pay some bills. Watches I consider a precious metal. I mean, there's some glass there. I have a new watch addiction. Thank you for that, V. Thank you.
You're welcome, man. It's anything I could do to convert a man into collecting watches. I'm there. I'm there to help you.
Yeah, and guys, what's it called, for the video education series, you guys can pay with crypto. It's just the Watch Us Trade room, guys. We have so much volume going in and out of there, guys. It's very difficult for the man simply known as Frank to manage everything from a back end standpoint, and dollars is just easier. Right now, but we are
processor that would actually do this month after month after month after month in crypto. It just doesn't happen.
Correct, exactly. But we are, obviously we are looking at that being as an option.
Eventually, we will. Once we have our platform up, then you guys will be able to pay in cryptos, and it wouldn't be a problem. It wouldn't be a problem.
Yep. So no, we're all I can say is that and I guess the last thing I really have to say is to thank everybody. I want to thank everybody, including, Z and Frank and V and everybody in the room. I'm as thankful to have you guys as you are to have us. I'm having a blast. I love my life right now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And yeah, come bother Dave from X22. He's in there. He's talking. I know a lot of you love him. And
yeah, we'll be on with
Dave
Dave next Thursday, so he'll probably post it the following Friday or the weekend. So, stay tuned for that, folks. It's going to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Good, Z.
All right. No, that's it. That's it for me.
And with that being said, folks, again, it's thecryptoschool.io, thecryptoschool.io. Link is in the description box. You're new to cryptos. If you are new, this is your first time getting your feet wet, go to thecryptoschool.io, click on where it says Crypto School Video Education Series, lifetime membership. You pay $297. You have a lifetime membership. We're not giving you one little rinky-dinky video where some idiot doesn't know what he's talking about. We're giving you thorough how-tos in the cryptoverse. Just go to the video education series, and we're always adding material to it. So that curriculum is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, if you're already somebody who's seasoned with cryptos, you're ready, you feel comfortable with it, you want to learn how to trade, well, you click on the Watch Us Trade. Go on the Watch Us Trade room, and all of a sudden, boom, you're in it with Z and Cowboy, and you're going to be getting all kinds of gains, as the Hodge twins would say. All kinds of gains over at the Watch Us Trade room, and we have the Crypto Community Slack. That is just a general crypto chat. It's $4.99 per month. There's some tidbits sometimes. Z, you pop up in there as well.
What?
The general Slack room.
I don't. Cowboy pops in there.
Yeah, I'm in there. I talked to the guys in there. We actually have some pretty notable people in there that have migrated into the main Watches Trade room, and it's really interesting that we actually have some very interesting people who have become our clients, and some of them are actually in that community Slack. Some relatively famous people. Like, don't want to ruin it, but they're in there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And with that being said, guys, folks, again, it's the cryptoschool.io. Oh yeah! Oh, come on, dude, play it.
Oh jeez. I don't know any of this, guys. I'm sorry. I'm a '90s kid.
I'll do it for you. Here we go. I got it. Cowboy, I got it. Here we go. I'm pumping up real good. Here we go.
Oh yeah, here we go.
There you go.
Just a good old boy.
That's us, folks.
Never meaning no harm. Beats all you never saw. Been in trouble with the law since the day they were born. Straight in the curve.
Folks, enjoy your weekends. Enjoy your families.
Enjoy your profits, baby.
Over and out. You ready, Nick? Yeehaw!